Hi guys, welcome to this video. We're going to look at Adobe Animate here. We've got Adobe Animate open, and as you can see, when you load up the program you get given a dialog box with a few settings. In this instance what we want to look at is look at the standard option in the presets, and we'll just make sure that the default values inside the width and the height are 640 by 480, and then click on Create. Once you click on Create, the program will load up all of the windows that's needed in order for us to make an animation. First window here we have is our stage, and this is going to be where we're going to put all of our objects for our animation. This area over here is the properties. This properties window can change depending on which tool we've used from the bar here. And down the bottom you'll find that we have a timeline, and then on the timeline we have a number of frames inside our timeline. And as with most things, at 24 frames that represents 1 second of animation. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a simple animation. Earlier on I found an image of Mr. Happy from the Mr. Ben, and we're going to paste him into our stage area here. So what we do is we go edit and we can paste in center. Now Mr. Happy in this instance is quite large, so what we can do is we can select him by clicking on our selection tool, or we can use this tool here called the free transform tool. If we click on that, notice we now have these handles around the edges of our image. This allows us to make him bigger and smaller as we wish. Now notice there is no structure here in how large and how small we're going to make him. If we want to constrain the proportions to keep it proportionate to each other in the original image, what we can do is we can hold down the shift key, and that means that the X and the Y axes on the image will go according to the size of each other, and we're going to make him about that small there, and I'm just going to let go. Once we're happy with that, if we just click anywhere on the stage or even off the stage, the handles will go and we'll have our Mr. Happy down here. Now what we want to do, I'm going to move Mr. Happy, so I'm going to just use the selection tool just here and move him down to the corner in the left hand side here. Now what I would like is Mr. Happy to move from the left hand side of the screen to the right hand side of the screen, and I want him to do that within 2 seconds. Now on our timeline down here, as I said earlier, we have 1 second denoted here, and that represents 24 frames. What we want to do is we want to click over here on the 2 seconds, and we want to insert a keyframe. We can do that by right clicking and then going up to the option here where it says insert keyframe. Notice we now have a long bar here, and then we have our representative keyframe 1 and our keyframe 2. So the first thing we need to do in order to make our animation move is we need to right click on this grey bar here, this area, and we're going to create a motion tween. What will happen is it will convert our image into a symbol. I'll just click OK on that one, and notice our bar has now changed colour. What that means is that the tween has been applied. So if we click in just in front of our 2 second keyframe, what we can do is we can go over to Mr. Happy and we can drag him along the bottom, and we can have him so he goes to the right hand side. Notice it leaves a trail of dots and a line. This is the computer automatically inputting the steps in which Mr. Happy will follow through between the 0 seconds and 2 seconds. So if I click play on our motion tween and then click play again, you should see he follows the line of the motion tween.